Hi, this is Alex Habersham, publisher of the Macon, Middle Georgia Black Pages. You know, our motto is you cannot afford not to advertise. So if you're interested in promoting your business and generating more revenue and making more people familiar with what you're doing, then it behooves you to give us a call because we got electronic advertising, digital advertising, we got the publication advertising, all kinds of ways to expose your business. Give us a call at 478-464-0074, www.maconblackpages.com. You know, I've always been interested in trying to do whatever I can for the community, for growth and advancement, particularly as it relates to African American males. If you were to check the statistics, in many instances, African American males are on the bottom of the totem pole as it relates to positive stuff that's going on in their lives and in the community. And anytime, you know, there is a brother, young man, African American, who is doing well in the community, then I think it would not be robbery to try to interview him to see if, in fact, some of the information that influenced his life can be imparted, you know, to the community in an effort to make sure that, or the hope that he will influence the lives of some of these other brothers in and around the community. This is a call to action.
A call to action.
I'm your host, Alex Habersham, interviewing I'm just kidding. Brother Jonathan Pitts, you know, County Commissioner for Jones County. How you doing, man?
Doing great. Thank you for having me on your show today, Mr.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming. Tell us go a little way back and tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name's Jonathan Pitts. I'm married to my wife, Keisha Pitts. We've been married right now 16 years. I have two wonderful kids, Jackson and Mackenzie. Brought up in a great family with two wonderful parents and a great support system with aunts and uncles, and it's just been a great experience.
That's outstanding. Now, I know you work for Macon Occupational Medicine. Have you always done that? Talk a little bit about your work life.
My work life actually started, it was Work Horizons over on Eisenhower Parkway back in 98 after I graduated.
What?
Work Horizons?
Work Horizons.
Yeah, in 98 when I graduated from Valdosta State University. And then in 01, Leonard Bevel purchased Work Horizons and formed Macon Occupational Medicine. And in this organization, I've grown to become the Vice President of Client Relations. And through his leadership and his involvement in the community, I've gotten involved and just been trying to make a difference.
Well, you are. Leonard is a great guy. I worked with him at the chamber. I think he was either the committee chairperson or the director or chairman or something of that nature. So I want to congratulate him and Occupational Medicine for your community involvement. I see the involvement often with different projects and activities. Talk a little bit about your young life. Let me tell you why I said that. Oftentimes, you know, African American males, you know, up until they're 10 years old, they're really good kids. But right at 10, they begin to kind of drift out. But some of that is attributable to the lack of male influence in their life. But talk about your young life and what kind of helped to mold you into a college graduate, a responsible person, a vice president, and a county commissioner.
Yes, sir. I attribute that to my parents, my upbringing, and really simply going to Sunday school on Sundays.
Say that again.
Going to Sunday school on Sundays. It was amazing that when I was coming up every Sunday, we went to Sunday school. My mom, she made a deal with me that if I went to church on first and third Sunday, that I did not have to go on second and fourth. But little did I know, during that time, Jordan Chaplain didn't have church on second and fourth Sunday. So as a young man, I'm thinking, I got a good deal. Yeah. I got first and third, and I got second and fourth off, so it's a win-win. But But it really attributed to my upbringing. Thinking the Bible, it mentions about bring up a child in the way they should go, and it won't depart from him. And it's kind of interesting. My son right now, he's 3 years old, and he just learned that Bible verse. It's actually in Proverbs 22. And that's what it's all about, bringing up a child, start planting that seed at an early age, and hopefully as they grow and develop, those good training and upbringing will never leave them.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
But, your dad was there.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, had your dad not been there, thank God he was.
Yes.
But you talked about an extended support system. I know you got an uncle and
Yes.
other folk.
Yes, I have a great uncle, Kenneth Barnes. Had some great aunts. Have a great aunt that's passed now. It's Deborah Barnes. Have my mom, my Aunt Evelyn Hill, my Aunt Angela Collins, and just the community. My dad, being that I worked with him during the summers a lot. So being that I was working with him, I had a chance to work with some of his, peers, and they ended up becoming role models for me. Both of the guys that I worked with during the summer.
Now let's put a pin in that.
All right.
Now, so what that suggests to me is that although some of these young boys may not have, their dad there,
right,
but then there's a possibility that they can be influenced through other males in the community. And I said that, Dr. Pitts, just kidding, Jonathan. I said that because what I'm trying to do is to get other individuals, particularly African-American male men, to take an interest,
right,
through mentoring or some kind of relationship with these young guys from single-parent, female-headed households. Don't you think that's important?
I totally agree. Actually, the first boy I ever served on was the Mentors Project right here in Bibb County. And from there, I've gone on to get involved with our local Boys and Girls Club in Jones County. I think that's a great outlet for the young men in the community that don't have parental support. They can go there. They can continue to get after-school training as well as other field trips and other exposure. And hopefully other young men will get involved to serve as a role model for the young men that's coming up. Another thing that's going on in our community is in Jones County, they have Welcome Wednesday, where they're encouraging dads to get out and welcome the kids. Then when they come to school in the mornings, because a lot of times they only see female teachers. So it's good to see male role models coming and encouraging the kids to have a great day and let them know that the men in the community are supporting them in their actions of the community.
Any man could go and be a part of Welcome Wednesday.
Yeah, Welcome Wednesday.
And the object is to let these kids see some males, some men. And
that's right. Because like I said, a lot of times they don't see them. I mean, if you get there early enough, sometimes you can actually get a chance to walk around with them while they're in the gym waiting to go to their class and spend some time with them and kind of find out what's going on with them. And from time to time, they'll share some of the issues that they're facing, and that
they don't necessarily share with the teachers,
that they don't,
or their parents.
Exactly, because sometimes they just may not feel comfortable sharing that information, just because they're concerned they may get in trouble,
right?
Or somebody's going to look at them differently. Right. But if you feel that trust with them, they'll open up to you, and you can really impart into their lives.
Well, now, how have you jump over into politics? Tell me about that.
It started when I was reading a book called The Dream Giver by Bruce Wilkinson, and it encouraged you to get out of your comfort zone. During that time, I was involved in the community with the Chamber of Commerce, Better Hometown, and the District 2 position became available. And I felt like there was just another way for me to get involved in the community and to really make a difference. At that time, I always had to go ask someone, what you thought about this idea. But at this time, being a commissioner, I can actually put policies in place and implement programs that's going to really make a difference in the community.
Well, how has that been? Talk about the election. How you get elected? Now are you just you're district commissioner?
Right, I am a District 2 commissioner in Jones County. I did not have to run countywide.
Right.
The district is the largest land district in the Jones County. It makes up approximately 7,000 people. And
wow.
And what each district makes
What
up.
about the racial makeup of those 7,000 people?
The last statistics that I saw, that Jones County is pretty much is 80% Caucasian, 20% African American.
So now you're telling me, and I think this is important, I'm going somewhere.
Go for it.
You're telling me that you were able, you're an African American male, young man, and in order for you to be elected, you had to get some majority votes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah. And I think it's all about the relationship that I have with people in the community, and being that I've been effective in the community, that people have gone to trust me. that I'm going to make some good decisions that's going to be for the betterment of Jones County.
Now, let me tell you this.
All right.
So what you're telling me, now let me make this observation,
Okay.
is that how you act, the training you get, how you present yourself, are irrespective of your color, can play a role in your being successful.
It's no doubt about it. It's no doubt about it. That I was saying that your first impression is a lasting impression. So a lot of times, if you present yourself well, people remember that. But if you give them a negative impression, the first impression, it could have a negative outcome of your future with that person or with that organization.
Yeah. Okay, well, what kind of initiatives and changes are you working on? And since there's a lot of regionalism involved,
Right.
you know, the different communities in our area trying to work together, what's your experience with the kind of changes that you would like to see, not only in Jones County, but throughout the region?
There's one issue that's come up really soon is this transportation splosh. I really believe if Middle Georgia will support that transportation splosh, it would make a great impact for our entire region. I've had a chance to travel to other regions throughout the state that passed the T-splosh, and it's amazing to see the transportation improvements that those communities have
So
made.
talk a little bit about what that is.
The transportation T-splosh it's pretty much just a 1 penny tax that's for this region, Region 6, that will make improvements to our transportation system, to our roads, bridges, and other transportation issues that each one of our communities face. And with that 1% sales tax, it's not a property tax. A lot of times people are concerned about my property taxes, so expensive, they're going up. But with that sales tax, everybody pays for it. Whether you're traveling through a town, you're actually spending time here in that town, you're going to pay some taxes, and the community as well as the region will benefit from it.
Now, what are the indirect, because you have to say this since you purported that, but a lot of people, it really takes some thinking to understand the indirect benefits of general community improvement. Talk a little bit about that.
I think with that, it's just we have to educate people. Educate them on what we're doing, and so they can actually see some of the benefits of it. Something I call maybe even exposure trips. When I was in Jones County, you used to have an organization called PLAN, People Looking Ahead Now. And with that organization, you would visit different areas in the state and see what other communities are doing and hopefully bring back some of the best practices that they have in that community to try to enhance your community. So I would encourage people to get active and involved, visit other areas, and see what they're doing, just like was over in Columbus. It was over in Augusta not too long ago. And they passed that regional T-splosh. And it's just amazing as you come into that town, the street lights, the roads are paved, and it gives a good first impression.
Yes, sir.
And people would like to move to areas like that because
that's one of the benefits. You can get more people to help pay the taxes.
Exactly.
Exactly. And then the other thing that I think of course, I know you'll talk about is the job factor as it relates to having.
You're right. I mean, if you have that, it's going to bring more jobs to the region. Hopefully, people want to stay in your region. People are going to spend money in the region once those construction projects are going on.
What's the difference and maybe they're the same, but I saw somewhere, is there a difference between the T-splosh and the OLOS?
Right. Only consolidated governments can do the OLOS.
Now, but it's not the transportation.
It's not.
splosh.
It's totally something separate. It's something totally separate. And that OLOS is pretty much using sales tax dollars. And if the local government uses those funds correctly, then there's a possibility you can reduce the community's millage rate.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, now, but then the OLOS is not dedicated to the transportation, though. They're two different things.
Yes, so they're totally two
and
different
they both, you could have a referendum
on
them separately and individually.
Yes, sir.
But, I think a lot of people think that it's advantageous to have, a penny more here, there, although some people say it's regressive or progressive, whichever one they say it is.
Right.
But I think that generally it will result in an improvement and a benefit for the entire community.
Right, I really would encourage people to do the research on it and explore the pros and cons of each one of them. But for Macon-Bibb County as a whole, so many communities come to Macon-Bibb County. Jones County, Monroe County, Houston County, Lizella, all those areas, Roberta, Crawford County, they're going to come and spend money. And those are sales tax dollars that's going to stay here in Macon-Bibb County. That's going to enhance Macon-Bibb County. And it'll be a great improvement.
Right,
It'll be
right.
a great improvement.
Right. So, where you see yourself going? I mean, what's what's your next? Do I hear governor? No.
And that's something that I'm just simply praying about. Things are going very well for me, serving as a county commissioner. And this past year, we adopted my son, Jackson, which is 3 years old. And I'm really enjoying spending time with him. Something that we talked about earlier about imparting to his life. Because God has given me this opportunity to impart into my kids' lives. And that's something I really want to do. When it comes to the community, as long as the people allow me to serve in Jones County, I'll continue to do that.
Well, do you have any intention of maybe running for a higher office?
I tell you, we'll explore that if the opportunity presents itself. We'll explore if the opportunity presents itself. Right now, we have a good representative that's representing Jones County, Representative Susan Holmes. She's very active in the community. She's done a good job for Jones County. So
now, is that in the state?
That's a state representative.
Yeah,
position.
state representative.
Yes, sir. But like I said, she's done a good job. And but like I said, when opportunities present themselves, we'll explore it.
Yeah. Generally, let me ask you this first. Now, on the last T-SPLOS, it did not pass, right?
It didn't.
Because you had to have all of the...
Right, all the regions as a whole, majority had to get, over 51% had to vote in support of it.
All the affected regions.
Yes, all the counties in the region. But it did not pass.
Now, did it pass in Bibb? I remember it was either Bibb or Houston, I think, that it did not.
I don't think it passed in Houston.
I think you're right.
I don't think it passed in Houston, but I think it may have passed in Bibb. And hopefully this time, Bibb and, like I said, all the other counties will support it. I think the key to it is, like I said, just educating people, because a lot of times people are taxed. Tax. I don't want any taxes, and I'm not a fan of taxes.
You're talking to somebody who used to be the tax assessor.
All right. So I'm sure you've heard that complaint on a regular basis, all right? But people are not fond of any new taxes. So, like I said, if the people can educate the public, and hopefully the public will trust the elected officials to do what's right with those resources, I think it'd be a good thing for our region.
Now, what are the counties? Do you know offhand?
I can't name all of the counties, but I do know that Jones County makes up this Region 6 that's going to be in this upcoming SPLOS in 2018.
And Bibb, of course.
Right, Bibb, Houston. I think Putnam may be involved, Monroe, Peach, and maybe even Baldwin may be involved.
Yeah. Well, we could find that out. So let me ask you this: what do you do for, fun besides go to church? I hear you, Kenny, got you preaching over here. I've heard those scriptures.
But yes,
now you said you got a son that you adopted. Talk a little bit about that, because I think it's important, that individuals in a position, you'll find it not to be robbery to adopt. Talk a little bit about that.
It's kind of interesting. My wife, she's had a kidney disease, and we're not blessed enough to be able to have kids, biological kids. So actually, both of our kids are adopted. We had that my daughter Mackenzie.
Wow.
Yeah. And things were great. Life was good. Can't complain. And my wife wanted to have another child. With the health issues, I was concerned. And with any major health issue like a kidney transplant and the stress that pregnancy has on a woman's body, I just did not want to go through that. And later on, she was persistent about having another child. And Lord, my the good Lord blessed Jackson into our lives. As a young man.
How old was he?
He was actually 11 months when he came into the home.
Wow.
And it took about maybe 18 months to complete the process. But brought him into our home and fell in love with him, started the process. The mom was very supportive, realized, his name is Jackson. His name is Jackson Darwin Pitts, but during the time his name was Darwin. But during that time, realized it was in his best interest to allow us to adopt him
Wow.
and make him a part of our family. So it's really been a blessing to be a part of our family. He's been a blessing to us. It's been a blessing both ways. But like I said, have him in our home and for us to impart in him, everything that's been imparted into me, from everything my dad taught me, my uncle taught me, my aunts taught me, and just to put that love into him and just pray that hopefully as he grows up, he'll make a positive difference, in this community as well.
With that kind of rearing,
Yeah.
I am sure that he will make it. Now, how old is your daughter?
Mackenzie, she's 11.
Yeah.
She's 11. Yes, sir. So, and actually Mackenzie's my wife's niece. My wife
But you were able to
was able
adopt.
to adopt her as well. Yes,
Wow.
able to adopt her as well, and she's a 5th grader, and she's getting ready to go to D.C. in a couple of months, and taking that whole experience.
Yeah, well, I understand you were up in Washington a few days ago.
Yeah, so back in December, the White House invited commissioners from the state of Georgia to come up, take a tour of the White House, meet with your representatives and different agencies in D.C. to learn about what they have to offer local officials. And also to start forming some relationships with those guys. So as you had needs when it came to health and human services, transportation, infrastructure, those type needs that you have in your local communities, you have a person that you can reach out to in D.C. that can point you in the right direction. We actually had a chance to spend some time with Sonny Perdue, so our former governor. He's the agriculture secretary now at the USDA.
Yeah.
He invited us over there. So it was a real good trip. Get a chance to see what's going on in D.C. and hopefully form some good relationships.
Outstanding. Now, are there any events coming up now that will be important, not only to Jones County, but to the, the general MSA?
Yes, I think that one of the biggest events that's coming up that's going to make a difference for our community is the Cherry Blossom Festival. It'll be coming up in March, so hopefully people from all over this region, all over the state comes, because actually we mentioned D.C. D.C. and Macon, both of them have a Cherry Blossom Festival, and I understand that Macon has more cherry blossoms than D.C., so it's something for us to be proud of.
Well, they gonna think I paid you to say that because I'm on the board. I'm gonna be the chairman of the festival in 18. So,
and you did not prep me to say that, all right? You didn't prep me
know
to
what
say
to
that.
say. They might give me some extended time. Send me a check or something. I
Yes,
could
sir.
certainly use that. Well, take a couple of minutes, if you would, to kind of advise young people, particularly African American males, on what they should do or what needs to be done or what played a role in your being successful.
What played the biggest role is the good Lord in my life. Another thing is just really the upbringing. And the key to it is getting involved in the community and realizing that you can make a difference. And it doesn't have to start by going out with any major organization like the Cherry Blossom Festival. You can start in your local church, start in your neighborhood with one of the local associations, mentoring at the schools, because I know a lot of times here in Macon, we kind of have opportunities for men to get involved. Going to the Boys and Girls Club. Just you find what you're passionate about. And by you finding what you're passionate about and realizing that, you can make a difference. And I'd encourage you to do that. Step out of your comfort zone, because being honest, I was in my comfort zone. I went to work, I came home, and life was good. But when I realized that I could really make a difference in somebody else's life, and I think that's part of the reason that we're here, to try to leave this place a better place than when we got here. So finding your passion, finding where you can make a difference, and jumping on board and enjoying the ride.
Well, you're such a model for what I would like to see in African American males, both young and old. What is it? How possible is it for someone to call you, time permitting, schedule permitting, and maybe you could come out and talk to the young men or to the youth ministry or something of that nature?
Yes, sir. I'm accessible. I'd be more than happy to share my phone number with you, and if you want to pass along to anybody that may be
You can
interested.
share it with them.
All right.
Wait a minute. He's married now. He already married. Not only just married, he's happily married. So, well, I mean, the reason I said that, all jokes aside, is that I'm sure that there are literally thousands of young ladies out there who wish that they had choices that would reflect the kind of person, the kind of man that you are.
Yes, sir.
You
Thank
know,
you.
because you set that kind of example. And if we keep working on it, then we're going to give them more people to marry.
Right.
Because that's important.
It is.
You know, and I kind of worry about that. And then I think that with everybody working together and imparting information and mentoring and encouraging and speaking to groups and things of that nature, that we can influence that
can.
to give them more people to marry. Because this one ain't available.
It
He
is
already
taken.
married. But if you would just share your contact information.
But so my name's Jonathan Pitts. My contact information, my number is 234-9985, 234-9985. So I'd be glad to talk to anybody that's interested in learning more about how to get more involved in the community, or any speaking engagements that I can have to speak to your youth and try to make a difference in our community as a whole.
That's outstanding. Well, let me congratulate you, man. It's such a pleasure.
Yes, sir.
You know, to be your uncle and I are great friends, and he's been bragging on you, and he said that he thought you would make a fairly good interview. He didn't tell me that it would be excellent. You know what I'm saying? So I really appreciate Kenneth Bonds for supporting you.
Yes.
You know, and that's what it's all about. We got to support each other, and we got to support our relatives. And I really, really, really appreciate, your involvement in the community. I encourage you to keep on keeping on. I'm going to be talking to Leonard about some other things, but I'll talk to him about that.
Okay.
And Macon Occupational Medicine. But I do appreciate the role that Macon Occupational plays in the community. So what's your job with Occupational?
Like I said, I'm the Vice President of Client Relations. So what I'm out doing is making sure that our clients are aware of the services that we provide, and make sure that we are meeting their expectations, and that all the clients have a pleasant experience when they do come to Macon Occupational Medicine.
Well, they got the right one, baby.
Look, I appreciate it. I'm doing my best.
Yeah, they got the right one, baby. This is a call to action.
A call to action.
I'm your host, Alex Habersham, having interviewed Mr. Jonathan Pitts, one who started out going to Sunday school early and says that played a role in his life. He's also a county commissioner, vice president of Macon Occupational Medicine, very, very involved in the community, got out of his comfort zone to make a difference, and I would hope that you all would share, not necessarily what I said, but what he says, this interview with other young men and young people who can and would be influenced by his life and his attention to detail and his desire to make a difference in the community. This is a call to action.
A call to action.
I'm your host, Alex Habersham. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
Hi, this is Alex Habersham, publisher of the Macon, Middle Georgia Black Pages. Our motto is, you cannot afford not to advertise. So if you're interested in promoting your business and generating more revenue and making more people familiar with what you're doing, then it behooves you to give us a call, because we got electronic advertising, digital advertising, we got the publication advertising, all kinds of ways to expose your business. Give us a call at 478-464-0074, www.maconblackpages.com.